I am kind of in a good place, but at the same time, if I'm gonna be honest, like I kind of feel guilty to say that. And I think like that's something interesting that I kind of want to talk about is like feeling like you need to
slow down the pace on maybe going on a date, maybe, going out too much because you feel like everyone might be like, oh, well, she really got over that breakup quickly. I guess it didn't mean that much to her.
Exactly. And that's what like plagues me kind of is
Chemical X.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Chemical X podcast. It's me, Veronica.
And me, Alessia.
And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
So, Ale, the last time we were on the podcast, we were both in wedding dresses. And today we apparently are getting a divorce. Like, I don't know what's going on, why we showed up in suits.
You're like more of a scuba diver. I'm like the scuba teacher, maybe.
In my life, I've done scuba only like once, but my scuba teacher wasn't wearing that.
They didn't look like me. I get it. It's fine. There's not many of me.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like cutouts and off the shoulders in scuba suits. Gonna be real. Never seen that
That's how you
before.
get stung.
100%. 100%.
I feel like you're about to go with your Australia story.
I was gonna say a story.
And I'm about to stop you right there.
Why? I can't say myself. That's fucking rude. Don't forget, you're the one who begged me to start this podcast. But listen to my stories.
The fact that I know you so well that I'm about to stop your Australia story.
Well, I don't want to say it anymore.
It's because you already said it, so I was going to stop you.
I don't even know if you know what the story
That's what we do now on this podcast. We recycle stories.
Wait, I want to know what story you thought it was.
It was a story where you were in Australia and you had to wear that suit or else you were going to get stung because there's certain jellyfish that could kill you. Is that the story?
Well, go on.
I don't care. I'm done with the story.
Okay. Well, that's the beginning of the story, but there's an end. But it's fine.
Say the end.
No problem. I don't want to talk about it.
Did you guys like swim back to shore because you were...
I got stung by a jellyfish, yeah.
Oh, right. And then you were worried that
but that's not what I was going to say. Well, here we go.
Was it or not? Now you're playing with my emotions.
There's a lot of Australia stories. That's one thing you got to learn about me. You're like, oh, I know because I knew. Anyways, aside from the story that Alessia cut me off, honestly, I've been getting a lot of people stopping me or like seeing me in person and asking me or messaging me about my breakup and how I've been doing. And a lot of people have been asking me a lot of different things. The most common question I get though is like, how are you? Like you look okay. Like you look fine. You look like you're having a blast. And it's such a hard thing to navigate because I feel like when you go through a breakup, obviously like we have a podcast, so it's different. So people like really see how we feel. But at the same time, we have a podcast that I can't come on here and cry every week either. You know what I mean? But also like, it's just funny the way people view your life and they just assume like, oh, you're good. Like what's going on?
I mean, honestly, you've been getting wasted a lot. So like,
I don't know if that screams happy.
I don't know if that screams happy, but I actually do think you're happy.
No, I'm definitely like, I feel like I'm at a place where I don't want to use the word over it because I don't really feel like that's what it is. But it's like, I feel like at a place where I'm like, I'm good. Like I kind of got over like the initial like shock of the relationship, like losing the relationship and all that stuff. And after Europe, like I think going on a trip, really, it's actually
I was going to ask you that. I'm like, if you didn't go on a trip, I don't know if it'd be as easy as it is now.
I do agree.
Trips change lives.
They change everything. I think what I really needed to do was just like, see how big the world was again, see my like OG friends, like that part of my life, which was before my relationship. And sometimes it's nice to like go back to something you had before. And what's really cool is the last time I saw them was before my relationship. So having that reset just really put me in like a good mindset and a good place. And I just feel like, I am kind of in a good place, but at the same time, if I'm going to be honest, like I kind of feel guilty to say that. And I think like that's something interesting that I kind of want to talk about is like, feeling like you need to
slow down the pace on maybe going on a date, maybe, going out too much because you feel like everyone might be like, oh, well, she really got over that breakup quickly. I guess it didn't mean that much to her.
Exactly. And that's what like plagues me kind of is I feel like, especially in anyone's relationship, you feel like you need to do, or not even relationship, like anything that happens in your life, you feel like there's certain things that you need to do in a certain timeline. Like you know, I have to show that I'm sad for this amount of time, and like I can't go out for this amount of time, and I have to wait this amount of time to go on a date.
Do you know
and
how many
it's like,
people
it makes you
struggle with that?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel good, but I'm still shy to show that I'm at a good place because I don't want to make it seem like I wasn't hurt and like my relationship wasn't important, because it was, and it still was all the things that I said it was. I just think like I'm at a point right now where maybe it happened quickly, I don't know, but I just feel good right now. I feel happy. I feel happy with my life. And I can totally see how like what I'm feeling right now is probably something that other people feel too. Like feeling guilty that you're doing okay, or that you're doing like better than people expect you to be doing, you know?
For sure.
And like you kind of feel like you have to prove that, like, I don't know, like
dim
I
your
feel
light,
like,
dim your success, dim
Yeah.
everything a little bit because you are going through a breakup.
yeah. And like that's what's difficult. It's like you wanna, it's so hard, and then it's like, what do you want me to do? Like post videos of me crying to show that I'm sad? You know what I mean? Like
And
everyone.
it's like we always say, you know, when you go through a breakup, most of the time it's done way before the breakup actually happens, so that when it happens, it's like you could technically, in a way, some people could be ready to go on a date a week later. You
Yeah.
know, some other people need 3 months, some other people need a year. It's fine. All those scenarios are fine, but you should never feel guilty for like feeling happy or wanting to do something and having to like scale it back or like wait. Like if you feel ready and comfortable for something, then it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks. You know, I remember when I went on a date recently after my ex-boyfriend and I broke up, and like I got a lot of shit from him, and he was like, what the fuck? Like, like it's, you don't value what we had, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, me going on a date has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the love I had for you. But if I feel comfortable enough to want to go on a date, then it shouldn't be anyone else's opinions, you know, and a lot of times we listen to what people think and like how they're going to judge us, but like fuck everyone.
I totally agree. And I'm trying to like not care about what people think and not concern myself with how it may appear.
But also it's different because like with my ex-boyfriend and I, we broke up a couple of times. So like when I was just going like the week after on dates, it's because we went through that a couple of times. The first time around, because you guys only really technically broke up once, I guess you could say in the public eye. Yeah, I see
Or
why.
really once,
I see why you waited.
And I also think like it's not only about what other people think too, but a part of me feels like I need to sort of respect, like, and I get it, like owing them this sort of respect and like to prove that what we had was special. And I know it's weird. I know it sounds fucked up, but like it's true. Like you feel like I owe you the respect to like not publicly be like going out with someone else after we just recently broke up. But yeah, no. So I just want to talk a little bit about like being newly single, like certain timelines and things that like we feel like, you know, might exist, but they don't really exist, or just like when's the right time to do something, and all like the little things that you don't actually think about, but things that you experience through a breakup, because I'm experiencing them all right now. And it's just like, it's one thing after another. And you're just like, what's the protocol here, man?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? You know?
I also feel like a lot of people wanted to, you know, DM you, take you out on a date, but they're like, I'm not going to be that first guy going right after Veronica just released her, you know, newly single episode. So I feel like a lot of guys also like took a pause. I probably want to go on a date with her, but I don't want to be that first Joe to dive right in. And then after they're going to say no because it's too soon.
So true.
And then they lose their chance because then when they ask you later, like it's, so I feel like a lot of
tricky
I know that there's guys that wanted to take you out on a date that were like, I'm not gonna dive right in right away.
Which makes sense. Like, don't dive right in. You
Respectful.
know what I mean? Like, it's also like when you're recently single, as much as you could jump back and go on a date, like you still need time to like get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like like, look, to each their own, but you probably shouldn't be jumping to run on a date the week or 2 weeks after you break up. Another thing too with my relation.
But who's to say?
No, but that's what I'm
though?
saying. To each their own. But like, I just feel like if you guys broke up a week ago, like you should still take the time to like just regroup yourself. You know what I mean? Like you need that. Everybody needs that. I think another thing with my relationship that kind of like makes me feel weird is because I waited actually like about a month, a little more than a month to talk about it, to like release the fact that we broke up.
We're a marketing scam.
100%. But it's like, because I waited that like amount of time, like a little more than a month, once it finally came out, everyone felt like it was very fresh, but I was already like a month dealing with the breakup. So people see me now, like their perception is a little bit skewed because they think of me like, oh, we just broke up, but really it's like 2.5 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever it is. But it just, the way that it was like portrayed seems like, oh, you should be sad right now because it just happened when it didn't really. So I think that's another thing that I feel like everyone thinks it happened fucking yesterday, which it still happened very recently, but not as but I feel like I need to play on the fact of when it was like when everyone found out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like you're like, listen, the release date it was
Coming
a little
soon.
later. It was a little later. But
that's why I say like no one could really have an opinion on somebody else when they weren't in the relationship because like I said, you don't know what's going on when you're in it. Like no one had, and you know, we all in a way have like that judging cap on where we'll be like, what the fuck? And it's like, we really shouldn't because you don't know, you know?
So I have a question. Aside from everything we just said, that there's no timeline, there's no this.
Yes.
How long do you wait after breaking up to go on a date? Because there's a lot of things involved with a date. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think I'm a good example though. Like, I don't think I'm like the popular answer. I mean, I think there's like half the girls like me that are just like, fuck him. Like, I'm going to go out. Like, I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. But I was also very selective on who I went out with. And like, I really have never been, for me, somebody who's like really going to start going and being that face girl of the city I live in. Mm-hmm. So that's where I feel like I didn't really do that.
Right. Like you were going on dates outside of the city.
Yeah, like my first date was really last year, you know, after we broke up. I went to Europe, which was very in a timeline where it was really like, I guess you could say disrespectful in the sense where like I met up with a guy, like, yeah, like I can see how that can be like hurtful.
Right.
So I think that's even worse than going on a date.
Yeah, actually. I mean, but like we said, when the thing is like once you're broken up with somebody, like you owe them the respect, like you gave them all the respect, you gave them the love, the relationship ended. Like after that, you're kind of on your own and like you can choose to be selfish and there's nothing really wrong with that. Like there's nothing really wrong with making decisions for yourself and doing things you want to do.
Yeah. And
obviously we have empathy and we feel bad. Like we think about other people's feelings and that's okay. But like making decisions based off of like how it might bother someone else is like not the greatest for your life, especially if you're single and trying to make decisions for yourself.
Yeah. And also like first, like it also depends like how the relationship is going. If you're breaking up once, like I don't think I would have ever done that, you know, but you know, 3 times around after it's not like the time period is completely different because I did it, you didn't change. Like, you know what I mean? There's things that we're both asking of each other that aren't changing.
It's
so,
like the last straw.
The last straw. So it's not just like, oh, it's been 1 week. I need to be respectful, you know? But I do remember the first time around, I was super respectful of that.
Right.
But are people sometimes super respectful of that because they are in hopes to get back? Because there's also that.
That's another thing.
Like, I don't want to be seen going on a date because I still want the person that I'm no longer with to think that I'm loyal or that I don't have any other options, that I'm working on myself, that I still want to stay with you so that you're like on your best self. There's many reasons why people choose not to even go on a date.
So true. And I totally agree with that one. That's a big
That's
one.
why
too.
third time around, I was like, look, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, because I have nothing left to like
I totally
prove.
agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree with that one. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think there's like a certain timeline. I think even for me, like I've been kind of trying to think about like, you know, I've always never been like much of like a date girl. Like I never was. Like I always spoke about
We're
that.
so different like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, if a guy asks me to go for a walk, like that's not a date.
Whoa, I'm not asking to go on walks.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is like some people will be like, let's go on a walk date. Let's go for ice cream to try and make it casual. And I'm always in my head and I'm like every girl, like you still have a little bit of a pit in your stomach when you're going on a date. But my thing is like, if they don't want to take me out for dinner, they don't value me enough. So like, or dinner or like drinks. And even at drinks, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, where you're like, please don't take me out to dinner.
I mean, I think I'm very selective over like if I would go on a date, like a serious dinner date. Like I'm very selective.
Well,
and
yeah, that goes without saying.
For sure. But it's just like that's never been my huge thing. I like always like to meet people out first. Like I need to know you, especially if I'm going on a date with you. I have to have met you it can't be like the first time I'm meeting you. You know what I mean?
Well, what
But
about if it's like you know of someone, hi, bye, but you never really like had a conversation with them and then you're going on a date? You won't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I won't. Like, I like to meet people in like a social setting, especially outside of a breakup, which is what I'm saying. Like, I like the casualness of just like, you're not actively seeking something, but you're just like having a good time. And if like I go out and like I meet someone and we vibe, like that's cool. But I feel like there's a lot of pressure in like setting up a date and like going on a date. Like, it's a lot of pressure. Like, you feel like if you're going on a date, you're like, I don't know, like it's like I don't want to give the wrong idea either. You know, it's a lot of pressure, especially going on the first dates after being in a relationship. You feel very in this like awkward state, you know? And like, I want to say what's the best time to do it, but like, I don't even know if there's a right time. Like, I think it's just like about like when you dive right in, when you vibe with someone, you kind of like take the leap, or else you're always gonna be like I don't want to go on the first date, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to break that cycle, which I think in a way is kind of healthy to do, to kind of like at a certain point jump in and just like really look at something new, or like get to know someone else. Like, even if it's not going to go anywhere, I think it's good to give yourself that outside of a relationship. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people, like you're saying, they kind of stick around like to their ex or whatever, and like they don't want to meet new people because they don't want to maybe
and a lot of people,
someone they might like.
A lot of people won't even go on a date because they're like, I don't want it to get out that I went on a date, and then my ex-boyfriend hears I went on a date, and then all of a sudden that's like his jump start to like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Like, a lot of people will be miserable because they don't want to see their partner actually go on a date.
Totally
There's
true.
that too.
Yeah, and I think that's like, I think if
That's
I would
so
go on
toxic, but so real at the same time.
I get it 100%. Everyone wants to do what they want to do, but still have what they want in reach, you know? But like, you can't win. You can't have the best of both worlds. Like, it's just not, it's never going to end well. And it's hard because you have to think like, if I'm ready to go on a date, then I have to also be okay with the fact that they will as well, you know, and you have to like prepare yourself for that, which is fine. It's part of breaking up. And there's so many things like breaking up that I've been like, just like so many things.
Let's dive right in.
So
Let's
first of all,
scuba dive right in.
literally, dive right in. I wore my scuba suit, dressed the part. So a couple of weeks ago, I got a message. Actually, Alessia got the first message from someone. This guy messaged her, was like, what do you think about the fact that Veronica's ex still has TikToks of her on his page? Obviously, Alessia didn't answer. But then like a week later, he messaged me and he was like, what do you think about the fact that your ex still has TikToks of you? And like, it bothered me so much that he wrote that I rarely answer people, but I went out of my way to respond to him. And I was like, what's the problem? Like, I was like, I don't understand. Like, what's the problem? And he was like, well, you know, I went on his TikTok and like, he still has all these videos of you. And I was like, yeah, like, what do you expect him to do?
We're not
Go
five anymore.
them?
We're not
like,
immature. Like, we don't have to
saying.
delete something to prove that something's over.
That's what I'm saying. And like, it made me so angry. And I wanted to talk about like social media in this day and age. It plays such a big role in relationships. And we have all these like certain things that you should and shouldn't do on social media. But when it comes to a breakup, there's certain things that I believe. And one of them is like, I'm not going to go out of my way to start deleting pictures of you, deleting pictures of us on my profile to like
Can I
prove
say
that
something?
we're done.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
If a girl or guy, I'm the co-host, so I guess. If a guy or girl is breaking up and deleting pictures right after they break up, you are in a fucking toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you had love for each other, nobody's jumping out the gates and deleting pictures.
No.
Literally nobody's doing that.
And also, what is the motive behind deleting the pictures right away? To show your partner this time you're serious, this time it's done? To show other people that what, you're on the market again?
Yeah.
No.
Any reason or like motive to do it is wrong. It's like any motive behind deleting those pictures is actually toxic.
If I know a guy is doing that right away, I already know that's not my man.
Like personally on my...
That's showing that you're going to go out and you're going to talk shit about your ex to new people to try and get new girls. Like,
100%.
no. It shows you have no respect for your ex.
Yeah.
You have to understand that you literally dated them.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Yeah, my relationship.
But if you dated them, at one point you loved them. At one point you had a lot of respect for them. Regardless of what happened, you should still have respect and knowing they were a reflection at some point of who you were. You're the bigger person if you stay like just mute in that situation.
I totally agree.
And I'm not saying the pictures need to stay up for forever.
No.
But if you're deleting them right after you guys broke up, like I have so many other questions.
I totally agree. Like personally, and I've always been this way, it's like I haven't touched anything that's on my profile. I obviously have a lot of pictures and, you know, you don't go on my profile and see him everywhere. Maybe that might have like changed, you know, maybe I would have acted differently if that was the case. But it's like you scroll down, there's going to be a bunch of pictures of us together. That's fine with me. It's the past. It happened. It existed. I still have love and respect for him. I don't feel there's no need in me that I need to go remove them. Eventually, at a certain point, if I don't want them there, and if I don't want them there anymore, I have no reason to keep them there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to jump out the gates and do that, I find that weird. And even on his part, like I went to check his profile and like a lot of pictures of like me and us together were gone, but there was still a couple that were still there, which is fine, which I get because it's like everyone has.
That's fine.
His profile had a lot of pictures of me and a lot of pictures of us together, which I get. You're going through a breakup. You know, it makes sense to like remove some stuff, but are you going to remove every single trace of me to show like we're broken up?
Yeah.
Like, of course you're not going to do that. And I would never expect someone to do that either.
Even when my ex and I broke up, only like months after did I delete like certain pics. I still kept some that were like memories. I didn't think they all needed to go. I just think like it needed a little bit of a cleanup. Like,
Yeah.
But that was only months after where I was like already going on dates. People already knew that I was single. And then I was just like, because I also feel like people are like on the search when you're single. It's like, oh shit, did they break up? Did they not? Are
Yeah.
they still together? Oh my God, did you check her Insta? Are the pics still there? So I don't know. Maybe they're still talking. Like there's so many things that people, outside people are looking in with. So like, isn't going through the breakup enough? Why do you have to have everyone else yapping too? Like, no, I feel like that's the last security of knowing like, you're not publicizing it anyway.
Yeah.
Because when you're going through a breakup, you are a marketing ad. Like regardless of if you have 1 million followers or not, like there's still people that know you that are gossiping.
Are looking, man.
Yeah.
They'll look and they'll find out before you even found out that you guys were breaking up. It's crazy.
What do you think of the lock in bio?
Well, that's the easiest way to know if someone broke up. When people have the initials and like the little lock beside, those are the same type of people that the day they break up, that's getting deleted and all the pictures are getting deleted along with it.
If Facebook,
we agree though.
If Facebook was still a thing, they would have, we are no longer in a relationship.
Veronica Rossi is single.
I think that's very cheesy.
Ugh.
I
think actually,
I don't like that.
If my ex, the lock thing, yeah, disgusting. If my ex would delete all the pictures when we broke up, I would actually find it way more weird than if he kept
it's like,
them.
okay.
Yeah, it's like, and another thing too that I want to talk about is it's weird in a breakup because you have a relationship with someone and you love them and like you know so much about them, you know exactly who they are, and then you break up.
You have no idea who they are.
And you have no idea who they are because you meet another side of them. And I'm speaking also on your part too. Like something I said is like, you know, my ex, for example, or any of my exes, like they've always known the side of me that was in love with them, that would do anything for them, that was committed and loyal and all of these things. But you never met the side of me that's like, you know, at my limits and like hurt and like moving on. Like you don't know who I am at this point. You've never seen this side of me. You've always gotten like the soft and like loving side.
Yeah.
You never saw this like hard, tough exterior side. And like that goes the same for like the opposite side too. It's like you see this other side of the person that you felt like you knew so well and you're like, wow, I don't recognize this behavior.
Or like they do things and it's like, fuck, that's fucking embarrassing.
You're embarrassing
But you're
me.
not dating them anymore to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
100%. Let me tell you, if we were dating, I would say, what the fuck are you doing? Delete that right now.
Absolutely.
But it's like, it's so funny to see another side of the person that you knew so fucking well. And then you just see them doing shit and you're like, wow, that's just weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're
you.
so weird. Like, why are you doing that? I remember there
so
were
weirded
so
out.
many things.
It's like when you read text from like, you know, if you like go through your boyfriend's phone and you read text from like before you knew them.
Yeah.
It's like that same feeling. Like, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
And you're also like, ew.
Yeah, ew.
Like, please stop.
No, literally ew.
And also, especially when, you have like friends in the same like groups and like, or you hear that they like message someone and then they use like a joke or they said something or like someone tells you and then it's like, ew, like why are they doing that? Like it's so embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know
But
what
it's
you
like,
mean.
well, they're moving on. They're trying. Like, what do
Yeah.
you want to do?
100%.
But also like, don't do that.
Don't do that. Stop.
Yeah.
Give me your phone. But it is a really like hard thing to deal with. And obviously like it's hard to separate who someone is. Like it's hard when you dated someone to like not still see them as like a projection of you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard to separate that because in a relationship, like you said, it's like they are, and they are, what's the word that you use? They are like a reflection. They're a reflection of who you are. Whereas like when you break up, you still kind of feel like the way you act still reflects me and our relationship.
1000%.
But it's kind of like contradicting because we just said like, yeah, you should respect, but still do whatever you want. But then again, like we look at them and you're like, oh, but you're still kind of representing me here.
I think down the line, it's like they're not a reflection anymore of you. But like for a long time after, it's like, you're ruining my image. Like, what are you doing? This is not good. So you break up. Mm-hmm. And now he has some things of yours. You have some things of his. What do you give back? What do you keep? Don't take back gifts. I'm going to make that clear. Because there's two types of people. Like, you get in a fight, you take your shit, you leave, and there's like nothing left, and like there's no reason to see each other again. Mm-hmm. But then there's like other people who will like leave, not take everything for the excuse to see you again.
Leave little sprinkles of reminders.
Just everywhere. There's like a hair elastic.
100%.
And like,
hey, I forgot my hair elastic. Hey, I forgot my bouncy sheets. Like, can I come pick them up anytime soon?
Like, at what stage is the stage to get together and like exchange? And do you need to see them?
So it's hard. I think it's different for everything. And what happened for me is like literally right after he was like, okay, I need to come pick this up. And like, he always had to like come get things. And then like the last time that he came around, I was straight up like, no, like, what are your intentions? Like, why are you coming here? Mm-hmm. Like don't use these little objects as an excuse for why you need to come here. Like, be straight up with me. Is there something you need to say to me? Is there something that you're feeling? Is there something that's bothering you? Why is it that you are coming here? And I actually got really upset because I was really frustrated that, he would come pick up stuff and then we would end up getting into huge fights and like, it would be crazy. It would ruin my night. It would ruin my vibe. And like, I was trying, like in a breakup, you're trying to get over it. And every time you come back, like, you put me backwards. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm just trying just like you're trying. So at the last time.
Why didn't you just pack everything up? What was always being forgotten? I don't get it.
So the first time he had come was like to pick up, I don't remember what it was. It was like a little, when he had left the first time, he really took everything. But there was just like a couple of things like gifts. Like I had the projector that was like screwed into the wall and like the record player, like certain things that I had given him that belonged to him, but we just used together. And like the last time he had like come to pick up that stuff and I literally like packed it all up for him and like gave it to him. And I was like, you can't do this. Like, is this the last of your stuff? Because I'm not doing this again. Like, it's not fair to me. Like, I felt like really unfair that you keep coming back and like forcing me to be in this like situation where I have to engage with you. And like, I'm trying to move on, which I get from the other perspective. You don't want the person to move on. So you want to keep coming and reminding them. But I was just like straight up like, what the fuck is your intention? And I gave him all his stuff back. And then he ended up like leaving it on my porch and not even taking it. And like, I was like, look, if you're leaving this here, like you are not coming back for it. Like this is no longer like, if you're deciding to leave
it is no longer in your possession.
It's my projector now.
You're going, thank God.
Thank God.
Yes.
I mean, if there was
Daddy,
anything that I wanted from the split, it was the projector.
Daddy, come back. I need you to screw it back onto the wall.
That was one thing that I was a little bit pissed about, though. I'm like, you made me fucking unscrew this and you gave it to me after all. Fuck, I hate men.
I remember when my ex and I broke up, it also depends how the relationship ended. Like the first time we ended, it was so bad. Mm-hmm. You were up. You were the middle. You were the person in the middle.
I was Dr. Phil.
We are two girls who take care of ourselves, who always try to dress nice. And as a guy, like, you can be in sweats 99.9% of the time. But the one time we ask you to show up, it's when it's time for a suit.
Mm-hmm. And where are you going to go when you need a form-fitted, hot, stylish, tailored for you suit? You're going to go to izotti.com. So on Izotti, you can put in all your measurements and get yourself a beautiful Italian-made, tailor-made for you suit. And you're just going to look that much better because it's Italian-made. And you know that everything made in Italy is just a little better. So you need to check them out if you have any events, or if you need to wear a suit to work, or if you just want to, make your girl fall in love with you again.
Basically. So guys, you head on to Izotti and use our discount code ChemicalX at checkout to receive 20% off your first suit. It was so bad, but I was like, I had to prove a point, which is funny because you see like the difference in like how the relationship kind of turned over time. But the first time we broke up, it was like, I'm coming and get my things because I was pissed. And because I was pissed, he was like, let her cool down because I don't want this to end. But I was so mad. I just wanted to prove it was like to prove a point. Like, I want to get my stuff. I want to be done. I want to show you that this time it's for real. And then when I went to get my stuff, he didn't pack everything.
Right.
Well, you can come in on this. But anyway, Veronica ended up having to go up and get the stuff. And then obviously he didn't give me everything because he wanted an excuse to see me again. And then after, there has been times where we've gotten back together on days that we were supposed to just pick up stuff. Yeah. And that's why I think it's really dangerous to get together with someone too soon after. I just don't believe in it.
I don't either. I think it happens fresh, but you need to like make it like somebody needs to be strong in it.
Because, you can get persuaded. You're at that fragile stage where it's like you made the decision, but also you're also very convincible because depending on how they like sweet talk you and how they like weasel you back in, there's a chance you might like fall back into the loop. Like my ex and I went to get my stuff. We ended up fucking getting back together. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like that hate love. 100%. It's disgusting and it's like it's toxic and that's why like now how I learned and the last time going through it, it was like I went to New York, I came back and I was like, and he really wanted to like give me back my stuff and get his stuff. I don't think he really cared so much about his stuff. I think it was really just the act of just seeing each other again because, in the past, the way it worked was that. It's like that was the way to get back together. Like it was. So I think the last time was like how I knew like I was done and I wasn't going through this again was like I left it in the lobby. There's no contact. There's no reason to see each other. If you want your shit, it's in the lobby. Get it with the receptionist. Get it with anyone. Like you don't need to be seeing somebody because at the end of the day, old habits die hard and you don't need that kind of shit. Yeah. So if I can give you any advice, it's to do the no contact.
Yeah. And wait. Don't. Like, it's so true. Like, obviously the way my breakup happened, like there was like 2 weeks time where we weren't speaking. And that was probably my fragile stage where if we would have gotten back and like exchanged things, I totally would have broken in that stage. But by the time we were like getting to the point of like giving back whoever had what, I was like really strong and I was really like stiff in what I wanted.
Also, guys, cut your losses where your losses are. If it's a couple of underwears, guys, go rebuy them. Yeah. I think like if a gift is under $300, like please just don't. If it's like, you know what I mean? A few clothes that you can just repurchase to just eliminate that whole situation, just do it. You know what I mean? Like
don't make a whole
situation
for a brush. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But also if you do want to see if your ex wants to get back with you, pull that whole stunt if you need to come get something. And judging by how they like react, you'll know if they want to get back or not. Anyway, that's just toxic.
That's toxic but facts.
But literally, if someone's saying like I'm gonna leave it downstairs, it's like like that door is closed. But if it's like you can come by, it's like okay, that door is still open. Yeah. But anyway,
with a grain of salt. Yeah.
I'm just saying. But yeah. And I remember once, he had got me this really expensive bracelet, and he had given me back everything of mine, but not that bracelet. And I was like, what the fuck, like. I want that bracelet. I'm a true believer. Like, I don't care what it is we bought each other. Like, keep it. I remember once he tried to give me back something that I gave him that was so sentimental. I'm like, Don't do this pittiness.
Yeah.
Like, I got that for you. It was at a time where we loved each other.
Totally don't respect somebody that tries to return a gift.
And especially if you've bought in something that was like expensive, it's not yours. It's not for you to keep. Like, you bought it when you love them. I'm sorry. It doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
It's like, I know people do it out of pity and stuff, but like, just don't. Don't. I find it actually like speaks louder.
Yeah, it's a turn off.
Yeah.
You know? I would never ask for a gift back, or never like, obviously the projector was a gift, but it was like, listen, it's on my doorstep. But like, I would never take something back that I gave to someone. Like, I just don't agree with
something with like a sentimental like value. So I got him these really nice knives that were super expensive, but the meaning behind it was like he always wanted to be like maybe a chef or something. So I engraved, which is what took the time, which was the hard part of it all, finding someone to engrave. And I put like follow your dreams and then like his initials on each knife, you know? And like for him to like try and give that back to me was just like, it's fucking disrespectful.
100%.
Like,
I would be so insulted.
and it's like, what do you want me to do with
kill
them?
you? Like, what the fuck?
I've never been the chef in this relationship, and I'm not about to start now. I'm not the chef. You are. Like,
should never give back knives when you're fighting. I'm not gonna lie. Stab. No, I totally agree. I definitely think that you should never return a gift or never ask for a gift back. You gave that to someone when you love them, and that's theirs to keep. You don't ask for gifts back. But one thing that I've been getting asked a lot about is like, if I'm still talking to my ex, like what's the vibe? When's the last time we spoke? You know, what's been happening? So just to give a little update, since before my trip, since the last time that I saw him to pick up stuff, I basically said like, look, like I don't want to speak to you anymore. Like, it's not fair to me. It's not fair to you.
because he tried a couple times.
Yeah, he tried. He kept like, you know, coming in ways that was really hard to like not answer, because you're putting me in a situation where it's like, I'm a bitch if I don't answer, but like I also don't want to answer for my own peace. And like, I know it's better for the both of us if we don't speak anymore. So the last time we saw each other, like I had like a serious talk with him, and I was like, look, like I don't want to speak to you. It's just like, it's not right for me. It's not right for you. There's no reason that we should be speaking right now. We're both trying to like heal and move on. We both have a lot to worry about. Like, there's no way that still speaking right now gives us any sort of positivity. And it's not to say like you're not still, like I don't still care about you, or like you're not still in a way like a part of my life. It's just, we shouldn't be speaking right now. And I truly believe after a breakup, I mean, for most cases, you should go no contact. You should not still be speaking to your ex, at least for like a couple of months. You need to have your own time. There's nothing that you guys need to be talking about. You shouldn't be seeking advice from them. You shouldn't be seeking emotional support from them. You shouldn't be seeking any sort of support in any way.
Nothing.
Not even to satisfy boredom. You should be seeking nothing out of your ex. Find it in someone else. Find it in a friend. Find it in a family member. Find it in a new person. But don't go back to your ex, because that's just not right. Because it's never honest behavior. You know, you're always trying to get something out of it. And it's always gonna end wrong. Always. So like, I can't stress enough that I'm like much happier not speaking right now, because I don't constantly like worry about like, you know, like obviously when someone messages you, like it weighs on you, or like if they're planning to come over and like pick something up, like that's all you're thinking about. And then you see them, and then you're dealing with the after effects. Like, there's a lot of things that, and also when you're still kind of speaking with someone here and there, and they know that maybe you're not speaking every day, but the door is open to be heard, they will make themselves heard when they want to be heard. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, if you guys are still speaking here and there and you do something to piss him off, he'll let you know. He feels like the door is still open to like tell you how he feels. But I don't want that. I don't want to know how you feel. I don't want to know. I want us to have our separate lives right now and heal by ourselves. And like, there shouldn't be the option to talk at this point.
Breakups are always hard. They never get easier. If you don't find the strength in yourself to overcome that, you're always going to be in limbo. You're always going to be saying what if. You're only going to know once you stop talking.
Yeah.
Like, the no contact is like, I feel so strongly about that.
Totally agree.
You're actually hurting both parties are hurting more, because then it's like, what
You're stretching.
and
like
then you could get in that toxicness where it's like, oh well, I went on a day, like you know, because I
Yeah,
know people
I
who
know
go
people
through
who
that.
do that.
Oh, I went on a date and it's like you're low-key trying to get your ex jealous, but then you're also like trying to move on. But how do you want to move on? How do you want to live a happy life if you haven't closed that door? It's just impossible.
It's impossible.
And no one likes, by the way, a girl or a guy who has not fully closed the door. It's just the biggest fucking turn off. Like, if I could say the biggest turn off for me, it's like if you're still talking to your ex,
something's
you're not
to
a
rest.
man. Like you can't like go through the like you become a stronger person by going through like the times of being like weak.
Yeah.
You know?
And allowing yourself to like battle it. Like when you string
you have
things
no
on because it's
self-control,
easier,
yeah.
it's just easier than like you're not standing up to like real issues.
Yeah,
you
like
know what I
if you
mean?
have
You're
no
just letting it.
self-control and like being able to cut the cords, then like I know you're not my person.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Totally
it should
agree.
be the same like both ways.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things like when when we were like discussing not speaking anymore, I guess like out of like hurt, he would always say like, okay, well then I'm never going to talk to you again if that's what you want. And it was so frustrating to me because I'm sure like it's a fear for anyone who has to like cut someone off is like, you don't want to never speak to them again. Like that's not the point. The point is not to never speak to them again. But like when someone threatens you with that, like it feels scary. It feels like, oh, they're never going to speak to me again. But first of all, it's not true. But like that fear is real. Like it's a real thing that people feel like if we cut off now, we're never going to talk again. But two things. First of all, you are going to speak again. That's number one. Like it's just inevitable that you will at some point both move on from it, both get over it, both not be hurt and come to a point where you're speaking again. And second of all, by the time that point comes, you probably won't be as hurt by the fact that you may never speak again. It feels hurtful in the moment, like, oh my God, we're never going to talk again. But like, by the time you get to the point where you could talk again, you're not emotionally invested
Also,
anymore.
you
where
probably
you care
don't
so
even
much.
want to.
Yeah,
I know my really good friend was in a really, like when I tell you a very toxic relationship, they were also living together. And I was like to my friend, like, please at least give yourself just 2 months of not talking to him because they were still talking all the time. And I'm like, if you still feel strongly after the 2 months of no contact of wanting to get back with him, get back with him. But I can promise you, after those 2 months, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to get back with him. Not after everything he's done. You just need that clarity. And it's hard to have clarity and to know what you want and what you deserve when you're still talking. That's why no contact.
totally agree.
Your whole life changes.
Totally agree.
Because you don't have them anymore. Your support system, you don't have it. So then you rely on different things, whether it's friends, family, hobbies. And that's the time where you actually start to get over someone. And people who don't want to they don't want you to get over it. They want you to remember them are always going to appear in your life.
The point is like in the time of no contact, you start replacing the need that they were filling with something else. So like if you were looking to them for like emotional support, you're going to go and find that inevitably subconsciously in somebody else. And once you fill all those gaps with other people, with other things, by the time that the no contact is done, yeah, you're like, oh, wait a second, I actually don't need you anymore. Because a lot of a relationship is like filling needs and satisfying each other and like connection and ties and like emotional bonds. And breaking that bond gives you the clarity and gives you like the stability to move on, you know? And that's what a lot of it is people, they don't know how to like live without this person giving them this like support and this, all these, you know, just like all like everything, right? That somebody will give you in a relationship. Once you like have to break that connection, you know, you're losing all those things and you're afraid that you might not find it again, but you do. In like, when you have nothing, that's how you find things. I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you lose all those connections, you're going to find it then in other people and that's okay. Yeah. And then you'll be stronger.
The fear is also always at the beginning that you'll never find somebody like them. When you're inexperienced, you haven't been out there, you haven't been doing anything.
But you also think, I find a lot in relationships, people think that only a relationship can give them this sort of thing. Because when you're in a relationship, you tend to like focus a lot of your energy and a lot of like the emotional side of yourself in your relationship. Like you'll rarely talk about things that are happening to you with friends or with family. Like you'll rarely do that when you're in a relationship. You'll always kind of reserve that for your partner. But once you get out of a relationship, you realize like you can also be emotional with your friends. You can also like have that support with your friends. And it's something that we kind of like tie in as like, oh, only my partner can provide this to me, but it's actually not, you know. Like I find myself now, like I'm way more open with my friends because I don't have anyone else to talk to, whereas I would have just spoken to my boyfriend and not felt the need to repeat it because I kind of like I settled it, you know.
Yeah.
So like I think it's really something that people forget. There's other people in your life outside of a relationship that can provide you those things.
Yeah.
Shit. So being single, there's been so many things that like I don't know, and I guess I'm really not like I said, I didn't delete any pictures, like I didn't like run to do any of those stuff, but it's kind of like now it's like 2.5 months later, 3 months later, and I'm like in my apartment and like my friend comes over and she's like, why are all these pictures still here? And I'm like, oh fuck, like, you know, like to be honest, like I didn't even think, like I haven't even thought about the fact that they're there. They're just there. It's just part of my furniture. Like I don't even think about it. And she's like, no. Like this cannot be here. She's like, even subconsciously, if you're looking at this, like it's not a good thing. You need to remove these. And I was like, I swear, like I actually don't think about it. I don't care. She's like, no. Took down all the pictures from my mirror, put them away. I was like, hey, goddamn. I was like, what about the painting that's in my hallway? Like, what do we do with that one? But it's very awkward with like sentimental things like that, especially like I'm very artsy, so I have a lot of like paintings and pictures of us. But it's like, what do you do?
What did your mom do?
I was telling my mom that I was like, you know, opening up to my mom. I was like, I don't know what to do because I have this big painting that I had gotten to him as a gift, but like obviously he didn't want it because what the fuck was he supposed to do with it? So it just stayed on my wall. And now I haven't taken it down because I have nothing to replace it with and I don't want an empty wall. But I also don't know what to do with this painting. And my mom was like, well, you know what? It's funny. I've been through something similar. When me and your dad divorced, I had a 5-foot picture of us on our wedding day. And she's like, I didn't know what to do, so I threw it out. I was like, shit. The divorce was really finalized at that point. Imagine driving by and you see a picture of you on the side of the road. Like, fuck, man. She's really over me.
She really hits the spot when that painting gets done. But honestly, that's a big painting.
That's a big painting. Very Italian classic, though, to have the wedding picture.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
But it's just like, when do you take that shit down?
Like, so you're ready now to go on a date. If the right person you would be down to go on a date with would ask you.
Yeah. I think I'm just like at a point where
but you have the anxiety of like what if I bump into anybody who might know him or him, right? How big is Montreal? Like if you did want to go on a date.
100%. Montreal's very small.
It's so stressful. And I remember Veronica was asking me, she's like, Alette, like, how did you do it when you were single and then you wanted to go on a date? And I was like, I was really thinking about it. And I'm like, how did I do it? Like kind of like what restaurants did you choose? You know, certain ones that like the lighting is like more dimmed, more like personal, where people feel less like they could just come up to you. Like don't go to the happening spot and expect to like just be on your one-on-one date. Like guys, don't go there. But I was really thinking about it and I'm like, wow, I haven't really dated a much. Like it's really sad to say, like I haven't really went on dates in Montreal. So like
she went to New York for all of them.
I flew for all of my first dates, which is, not
to pass customs for every date.
Which in a way is like not normal. Like I haven't really went. I feel like only now am I going through the same thing as you, because I like recently went on a date. We'll talk about it next week, but like the whole like, like being seen out. But also I'm at the stage now where it's done, obviously. But I was thinking about that like recently, like, wow,
you just fucked off for every date.
I think that was smart of me though.
It was smart. I think there's like a lot of anxiety, especially being like
in the same city. Oh my God.
In the same city. And also like one thing that kind of stresses me out is like, obviously I have a podcast and obviously a lot of people know what's happening to me. So it's like, it's not like I run into people that know my life, and that's what stresses me out, because people feel like they do know me and they feel like they see something and they try to jump to conclusions about it. And you almost want to go like, ooh, like stop, but it's just so difficult. It's the same thing. Like I said, is like people look at me and they say, oh, you should be in this phase of your breakup. But really you only know what like, and when I chose to let everyone know. So it's all a pickle. And I think every single step in this relationship has been weird. You know, like people have even made comments about me going on a trip. Like, oh, wow, you went on a trip so soon after. Like, was that planned? Like, did you decide to do it after? And it's like, people feel like they're entitled to such information, which obviously I have a podcast. So yes, you are entitled to the information. But like, you just feel stressful making these decisions like they mean something. Like, because I went on a trip, it means that I didn't give a fuck and I was just waiting to be broken up. But that's not what it means. It means that I wanted to go on a trip. I wanted to live my life.
Do you really feel like people really are like, because I know you always think in a way like the world is like on you and they're like against you, and or like they're talking shit, but like sometimes it might just be your inner self who feels that. But like everyone else might be like, you go, Glenn. Like, no one's thinking that. I think sometimes a lot of the time we put we put the pressure on ourselves more than anyone else even puts it on us.
Totally agree. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a mix of the two for sure.
For sure, it's a mix of the two, I would say. But it's definitely anxiety inducing when you're like, it's so hard being outside a relationship, especially a long-term relationship where you never had to think about a date. You never had to think about when to take a fucking painting down. You never had to think about if this picture should be up or not. Like, you never have to think about these things. And yes, technically they don't matter, but like, it's stuff that everybody thinks about and stuff that everybody stresses about. And it just feels like I'm at that place right now where I'm like, what's the right time? Is this disrespectful? Should I be more sad? Should I not be acting happy? Like, what's the protocol?
The protocol is one step at a time. You go from no contact. Doesn't mean the pictures have to be deleted. Doesn't mean Instagram needs to be changed. Doesn't mean the bio and the lock have to be removed. Even though
no, the bio and the lock, they gotta be removed.
I'm just saying, one step at a time. You stop talking. Then the next step is, working on yourself. The next step is, if, somebody asks you on a date and you're down, then if you're interested in, then you go. Then you could remove the pictures if you're really feeling like you're over it. Like, I think it's really just like tackle one thing. Don't fucking remove and try and erase someone out of your life so quickly where it's like alarming.
Yeah, alarming.
One step at a time.
Totally agree. And I think like
and a nice trip. Honestly,
that's the secret sauce.
The secret sauce is go on a fucking trip and see the world.
100%. Remember how small and insignificant you are. And life is short. That's another thing.
Wow.
Fuck,
remember how small and like unworthy you are.
No, not unworthy, but insignificant. I think that's something that humbles me a lot and like reminds me to just do what I want to do. And like, that's, when I struggle with feeling like, oh, maybe I'm like, I feel guilty for being happy. I'm like, no, like life is short. I'm blessed to have like the mindset that I have and the ability to cut off certain things once I decide they're done. I really always kind of spoke about how I have that like little superpower of like, once I'm done with something or someone, I really easily shut that out of my brain and like I can really easily move on from it. It's just like I made my decision, I'm sticking to it, next, and like that's a blessing and I should like stick with that. And it's like, if I'm happy now, then I want to embrace that. I don't want to feel guilty for being happy because a lot of people try to be happy their whole life. So like, if you are feeling happy, if you are feeling good, you shouldn't feel guilty for that, You shouldn't feel bad that you're feeling okay. It doesn't mean that you love that person any less in the relationship. It doesn't mean that like you don't care about them anymore. It's just like, you're happy, do what you want to do, like fuck what people think. Yeah. But it's also very hard to continuously live that way. I
also have in the back of my head that like you're only in your 20s once in your life. And I feel like that song plays in my head so often that it kind of like erases the idea of like me being hurt by a guy or like anything that can really happen. I feel like when you think about like your age and how much you can like achieve and all the things you have going for you and just being grateful, it really puts you, it literally
humbles you.
It really humbles you to go, you know what? Like, why do I want to waste the last years of my 20 being like, oh, fuck, like, let me be sad about something that's no longer a thing, or let me be like, oh, wow, like, let's look at it like the glass half full. Like, what do I have left in my 20s? What did I learn? What am I going forward doing? Like,
and what doors did this open for me, And like, that's how I'm trying to think of it. And honestly, anyone that, thinks badly about it or that's like, oh, that's not the right thing to do, like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, live your life. And that's how I'm taking every step. It's like, if I want to go on a date and if I vibe with someone, fuck it. I'm going to do that because it's going to make me happy. It doesn't mean anything outside of the fact that I want to do that. And that's just what I'm trying to do is like, do whatever I want to do. Yeah. Fuck what people think.
And I don't want to say manifesting again, but literally, you know how when you start your day and something shit fucking happens, normally like the rest of the day just goes to shit because your energy is just off. Let's say you get a ticket in the morning and you're just like pissed, you know, like a cop pulls you over, you get a $300 ticket, you lose 6 points.
Wait, is this personal?
You know what I mean? Look. And then like, do you know how many times I've like trained my brain to be like, Alessia, like everyone's testing you right now when it's really just me. Like, will you continue your day being pissed because more shit's gonna happen? Or how do you fight the odds and be like, what am I grateful for? And then I literally pull out like all the reasons I'm grateful. And then I'll be like, something really good is gonna happen. And how many people do that when something really bad happens? No, they just think that they can just have the full day to just be annoyed and be bothered. But I swear to God, if you change your mind frame and you're like, something good's gonna happen, there's so many times that something so bad happens and I'm like, Ale, train your brain, train your brain, train your brain, and then the best things happen. And there's times where I don't train my brain and I just like allow it to just sit, and like worse things happen.
It's true, because negativity brings negativity.
Yeah.
And it's so true. I totally agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to check.
Well, no, wait, Veronica. 100%.
100%.
1000%.
Have I been saying that? I don't even know anymore.
I have people who DM me and they're like, I'm not even a minute and 30 seconds in, and Veronica has said 100% 6 times. And I'm like, welcome to the Chemical Eggs podcast.
So one thing that I want to talk about actually before we wrap this up is when you're, broken up with somebody, the natural instinct is that your friends will always kind of like tell you when they've seen them, or like, hey, like I saw your ex the other day, or like, hey, I kind of saw this happen. So I've been dealing with that right now. Like a lot of people have been like,
and you've had a lot of scares.
Yeah. And people will often be like, either say like, oh yeah, I just saw him here, or like, I just saw him here, or I saw him with this person, or like, he messaged me, or he messaged my friend. And like a lot of people will like come and tell me this information. And for me, like, it doesn't really bother me.
Okay, so I have a question. Like, do you want to know, like, let's say, he messages a friend of mine or somebody who knows us. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I do because I'm at a space where it's just like, I want to know so that I'm not naive. But then at the end of the day, like, I'm just knowing out of curiosity. Like, do I need to know? No, I don't need to know. Right? Do I want to know? Yeah, I'm curious about it.
I think there's
Does it affect me badly though? No. Right? And like, I think
so, like that's where it's like, I have a friend who literally couldn't handle it, and I was like, I have to choose whether I'm like being a good friend, but like her whole mood's going to be off for the entire day, or I just choose to shut my mouth and not tell her I saw her ex at this restaurant and so forth. And I think
it's difficult.
It's really difficult because you can be labeled as the bad friend really easily, or like being the secretive person of like not wanting to tell somebody. But sometimes you really do it out of love.
Yeah.
Like I've really like seen with some of my friends, like I'm really choosing not to tell you because one, I've literally had the conversation where I was like, she wants to know, but she's like, you know what? Don't tell me anymore. And I'll be like, okay, I'm not telling you anymore. And I actually truly think that's the right thing to do if somebody's not able to handle it. If they're able to handle it and they're still going on with their life, then I think it's fine.
Yeah. But it's a tricky situation,
it's so tricky.
Like you never know. Be the good friend and tell them, or be the good friend and save them the misery that this is going to cause them, because it actually makes no change whether they've, been somewhere and you saw them somewhere. Like that's the thing. It's going to affect you more than the actual thing that's happening should affect you. So it's always a tricky one, but a lot of people will come up to me and, and just say like,
I saw him here.
I don't know why the new thing is like, I guess because everyone knew us. The first thing anyone says to me is like, hey, yeah, I saw your ex here the other day. And I'm like, shit. Okay.
I also think it depends who's telling you.
Yeah.
I think if you're not close to Veronica, like I wouldn't really go and say.
I mean, a lot of people like, hey, I was at his house the other day.
See, like
okay.
I would never feel comfortable to say that to somebody I'm not super close with.
I think people are just trying to relate at the end of the day. Like people try to feel close to you and try to like, oh, hey, like I saw him the other day, and it's like,
and it's coming from like I'm not, I'm not trying to go after your mans. I'm just trying to tell you I saw him.
But it's like in your shoes, like, would you want to know? Let's say you guys recently broke up. Do you want to know if he's seen out with a girl? Do you want to know if he's messaging someone?
Yeah.
Right?
Curiosity kills the ball.
Wow, man, I want to know.
But I think.
But do I need to know? That's my thing. It's like,
No,
do
we
I
don't need to know.
If you
and
give
it
me
shouldn't
the option,
change anything. And it shouldn't change anything. And if you know that the person you're about to tell it's going to change something, that's where I'm like, I don't know if I should tell you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, if I have the option of knowing, I'll always choose to know. But do I really need to know? Probably not.
Strong characters, I feel like you absolutely deserve to know. And like weaker characters, I don't mean weaker I mean weaker. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if you're being the best friend by saying it.
Yeah. I do agree, because it creates, especially for someone that, like you said, it will change something in them if they find out that they're out with another girl when it shouldn't. When you guys are broken up, you're doing your own thing. Obviously, it's going to bother everyone. You're going to shit talk. It's going to gossip. And then it's done. But like, if it truly affects you, then like maybe you should think about whether or not you're letting this person know.
But also it's a weird thing, because even when I was over my ex, and like your sister had went out on a date. Okay, this is a long time ago. She went on a date, and like the friend she was going and meet ended up bringing another date, and it ended up being my ex. So like they both got on the date not knowing that like they were seeing each other. Like my ex was seeing Tanya because they were double dating. It was this weird thing. And obviously your sister was like I was on a double date with your ex-boyfriend and so and so. And I was like, what the fuck? That was like weird to me.
That's fucking weird.
I was like, you should have separated the tables. What the fuck? But also I get it, you know, like it's part of life. But yeah, like I was like, I think it was more just the whole idea of it than like me actually caring.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, and this is something that my mom was saying, not even to me, to my brother, and totally out of context, but just saying like how in life there's always going to be people that you have certain conflicts with. She's like, whether it's like an ex-friend or like an ex-relationship or a boss, or there's always going to be somebody that you don't necessarily want to see. And like growing up is learning how to navigate those situations and learning how to deal with them, because you're never going to be good with everyone. So you just need to figure out like how to adapt to those situations, because they're unavoidable. You will at some point be in a situation that you don't want to be in, with people you don't want to be with, and like you might not be on the best terms with, but you have to learn how to adapt and move on from that.
And I think it's also like knowing your boundaries and your limits. And if you feel uncomfortable about, you know, being somewhere or being with someone, like you have the ability to walk away. And I think a lot of people forget that, you know, like you're only in a situation that you're uncomfortable for so long before you're able to make a decision and be like, do I want to put myself through this or do I want to walk away? You know, there's that too. It's like at the end of the day, no one's holding a gun to your head and saying, you know, you better be in this uncomfortable situation. You can be mature about it. You can be like, hi and bye, and then you're out, you know, like if you choose to put yourself through that pain, you can't blame anybody else.
Totally agree.
So,
yeah. I mean, just to wrap this all up, I've been like, I would say single. It's like 3 months now. And I think so many things have changed, just like mindset wise.
I think even when if you would watch the episode now versus...
I still think that I agree with a lot of what I said, because I did take the time to like really like, you know, like I really took the time to like understand my like, emotions.
There's still like that whole like, at the beginning, even when you broke up, you were very like, this is still my person. Like, this is the only person I see myself with a little bit. And now you're probably like, I won't love anyone like I loved him, but like I'm open to loving someone differently.
So definitely like the way my mindset has changed is I spoke about this when in my first podcast, as I said at the beginning, I truly believed like, this is it. This is nothing. There's nothing after here. And then, you know, I came to the realization that like, that's not really a nice way to live. And like, fuck that. Like, why should I close down every opportunity for myself just out of this belief that I have right now? So that was something that I learned to say like 1 month in. And now I'm at the point where I'm kind of like, I'm really aware and grateful and like happy that I had the ability to experience the love and like the connection that we had experienced. And I recognized that it was extremely special, and I might not ever feel that again, but I might also feel something different, and I might feel something, you know, just as good in a different way. And I know that like being in a couple of relationships, no two relationships are the same. No two loves are the same. Everything is always different. And it's okay that something might not be better, or like you might not find the same thing per se, but you might find something different and that might work for you, you know? So like I feel like I'm at the point now where I'm not like, I'm just like so grateful and happy for what happened, but I'm like excited to discover whatever else there is out there, and I'm not holding myself to the standard of like I'll never find this again. It's more like, what else could I find? Like, what else is out there? Like,
do you
and
ever
also just to clarify, I'm also in a vibe where I never even think about like who I could meet or what a relationship could look like. I'm really like, I don't even care. Yeah, like I really don't even care. And it's just like, I'm just saying this because to think about it, I say like, yeah, I'm excited to maybe find something else. But to say that I even think about it is like, I don't. I'm just like happy to be around people, happy to just like go out and have fun and meet new people. And like, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, like no like no pressure, no responsibility, no like, I don't know, like it's just like easy. It's just free. And like that freedom is what I love the most about this stage that I'm at, is that I'm not holding myself to like beliefs that I have of like, I'm never going to find this again. Or like, this is my only person.
Like, when you recently break up, you're like, am I ever going to find this again? And then a year later, you're like, honestly, if I'm single for the rest of my life, but happy, okay, maybe if I wanted kids and it doesn't happen, like I'll be like, it'll be like shitty and stuff. But like, if I'm okay with just being with myself for the rest of my life, like I'll find things that make me happy. That's, I feel like, when you like actually like meet someone and you're just like, I'm cool. Are you cool? Like,
yeah. And that's where I feel like I'm at. It's like, I don't feel like I need to find something better. I don't feel like I need to replace what I had. Do I still believe like that was like a really insane thing that I experienced? Yeah, I do. And that's fine. And if I have to be single forever after, that's also chill too, because I'm happy. I'm literally happy. You know, like I don't need to find that again. I'm grateful to have experienced it. Don't need to top it. Don't need to find it again. If it happens, I'm also happy for that, you know? And I think that's like the best stage you can be at, because it's just like, it's carte blanche, you know? Like it's anything. You could have whatever you want. You have the freedom. You're not holding yourself back from anything, but you're also not pushing yourself to find something, you know? Like you're just like chilling. Like
it's literally the best
I don't
stage.
feel any pressure for
a year later, still feel that way. So maybe as the years go by, that'll change.
Let me know in one more year.
Holy. But then it's like, it all depends who you talk to. You know, if people have like settled down and are like married and stuff at like 26 or having kids, you know, like those kind of people, you'll feel a little more awkward to be like, I'm 26, turning 27 and I'm chilling. But then you meet someone who's like, girl, like I only started settling down in my 30s, had my kid at like 32, 33. I'm like, I vibe with you. I like you.
I get it.
No pressure.
And like the other,
I just don't want to ever settle in my life.
No.
And like you really settle, like girls tend to settle as the time is ticking. And I really don't want to be one of those girls who just starts settling because I'm getting older. Like,
I think also like it's something we could say now, and then, you know, everything changes. The more you go, your mindset changes. As much, like I said, a month passes, my mindset changed. Like with everything, I think, you know, maybe when we're 35, we'll revisit this topic and like have a different viewpoint on it and have more to offer. Right now, I can say I totally agree with you. Like I don't want to ever be at that point. But then I also know like every age, every experience comes with its own struggle. And we always say we'll never be someone or we'll never do something. And then we end up there. You know, like how many times I said I would never let anyone do this to me. And then someone did it to me and I accepted it. You know, like there's so many things. So I just don't want to give. I know like there might be a lot of people listening that like maybe feel bad that they do feel that pressure. But it's just like, you know, everyone has their own experiences, and maybe
for sure,
when we get there, we're going to feel the same way too, you know?
For sure.
It's just about like keeping that strength and that happiness and like freedom. And like the other thing about breakups that I learned is there's no like recipe. There's no like after 2 months you're good, or like after 1 month you're good, or after 6 months you're good. Like for everyone, it's different. The only thing that I can say is like, it's not what I thought it was going to be at the time, you know, knowing that my breakup was impending, which I feel like most people do know that when they're at the end of the relationship, you kind of imagine, oh, fuck, this is how it's going to be for the next couple of months. But I don't feel like it's ever how you imagine it to me. I feel like it always kind of changes. It's always different. You know, like my breakup experience isn't what I thought it would be when I finally got out of it, you know? And I think that's something to keep in mind if maybe you're at the end of a relationship and you're scared of the breakup stage. You don't know if you can handle it. You don't know if you can handle the loss. It's like, you can, and you will,
And
you will get through
you're dealing with it now. Like we always say, like if you're going through all those thought process, you're doing all the work.
Yeah,
you're
already doing it.
You're already having sleepless nights. You're already like thinking, what is life? What is my life?
I could honestly say like, but the pre-breakup, like the really hard part of our relationship was harder than the breakup, because that was really the hardest part for me. Is still trying to make the relationship work while it was still breaking. Like that was literally the hardest thing. And maybe that's personal to my experience, and maybe other breakups. Yeah, but like I guess it was like the experience that I had in my breakup, you know, having certain issues. It was so painful and so hard all the time to deal with, trying to keep the relationship together, that when I got to the breakup, I felt like I know what I'm doing. Like the path was clear. Whereas like when you're in a relationship that's breaking, you're like, there's so much stress, so much anxiety, so much hurt, so much pain, that it's sometimes actually worse than a breakup. Like it's legitimately worse than a breakup. And you don't think that at the time. You think like nothing could be more painful than losing this person. But actually what you're doing every day is more painful. Ends up being more painful.
It's the worst. I read this thing that was like, a relationship only ends when one person stops fighting for it. And that's why I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe this is a little tough for like everyone to hear, but I find it really hard to like, you know, when two people break up, it's like, how can you still fully be like loving someone if they are not loving you? Because to love somebody needs to be mutual. And if somebody stops loving you, how can you 2 months, 3 months, 4 months still be like sobbing about it and being like, well, he's the love of my life? So like, just think about that. If you're like broken up and like, you know, maybe it was you who ended it, or maybe it was the other person, but you can't really fully be loving someone if they're not loving you back and it's not mutual. So I don't know. I just want to end the podcast with that.
Okay.
Shakespeare. Yeah. Well, it's true.
No, I do agree. I think you're
holding on to something else, but it's not love anymore.
Exactly.
It's not love.
That's exactly what it is. You're holding on to something, but it's not love. What you're feeling is not love.
Yeah.
Because love needs to be mutual. It needs to be in a place together, and it needs to be fueled by good things. And whatever you're feeling is not love.
No.
It's attachment. It's like emotional, distraught. It's a lot of things, but it's not love, you know?
Anyway.
You can have love for someone, but to be in love with someone that doesn't love you is impossible.
It's impossible. They're not giving you what you need.
You can't be in love with someone who's not. It's like it's the same way you can't be open with someone who's not open with you. It'll never work. There's no connection. You can't be emotionally and mentally connected to somebody who will close their doors. You know? It just is, it's impossible. So all to say, guys, breakups, they're hard, but they're not as hard as you think. And
if you're thinking about it, you're already going through it.
Yeah. And for everyone, it's different. Every experience is different. But like, just know, like, everything you're feeling is okay. Never feel like guilty for being sad.
Every relationship is different, but like, is it really? I feel like I'm really realizing that us women, us men, like, we connect a lot more than we think. And we go through, especially being in the same like age bracket, like we go through so many similar things that as much as we even think they're different than other people, we're literally going through this wave of life all together. We're dealing with everything.
Yeah.
So some people it happens at like 20, some people it happens at 23, some people 35. Like we're all just like trying to navigate life. So
then it's not that different. But just know that everything you're feeling is okay, and it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to like move on.
If you break up and you want to go on a date the first fucking week and you feel comfortable and you feel ready and it's for the right reasons and it's for you, then you should do it, and you shouldn't care what anyone thinks, because especially me, like I've gotten really good with that. Like I care so much less about what people think, and I've literally been living such a blissful life, you know? Like at the end of the day, no one really cares about you the way you care about yourself, and if you're happy, fuck it. My God, sweet end.
Damn. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys.
Don't forget to
like, subscribe, comment down below, and let us know what you think about this topic. We love you, and we love seeing your comments. So thank you so much
we love seeing your comments on YouTube. Keep them fucking coming.
See ya.